Hey friends, vinyl community, Wes here. So I just had a recent question posted on my vinyl process video about the CD sleeves that I make after I've digitized my vinyl. I like to have a physical copy, a physical digital copy. I can loan these out, or I could take it and put it in a car or whatever. I really like having these around. It makes it a lot more easier to move music around and hear it anywhere I want to hear it. So and they also wanted to know about the I make like a sort of a gatefold style, which is just a sort of a split of doing this one sort of thing here. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and go through the process, and I'll show you how it's done. And we're gonna go ahead and do this Paul Simon album here. This is a stone cold classic, must have. If you don't have it, get it. This is like Zach said, this is a dollar bin find all the time. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this one. I just recently digitized this last night actually. So here is the CD. It's been burned. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and this process uses iTunes. I don't know how to do it in another program. This is just how I learned how to do it. I learned this from Derek actually. So go ahead and put the CD in the computer and fire up iTunes. Sometimes it will know what album it is based on the song lengths, and sometimes it won't. This time it does recognize that it's Paul Simon's Paul Simon. So we get all the song titles here, and it has the correct artist and the correct album, so that's good. You're definitely going to want all this to be correct before you rip the CD. And so it's correct, so we're going to go ahead and rip it. Okay, so the ripping process is complete, and so when we go back to our music library and type in Paul Simon, we should see this. Okay. There's Graceland, Greatest Hits, and there goes Ryman Simon, but right here is the Paul Simon album that we just ripped, and you'll see it doesn't have any album art yet. So what we need to do, you can find album art all over the web. I usually use Amazon just to start out with. So Paul Simon, and somewhere in here, there it is, and I don't like that. Like when you open this up and you see that the artwork is smaller than the box here on Amazon, you don't want that because you're going to get that white area around the art in the file, so that's not going to work. We're going to have to find a different version. Sometimes this is easy, sometimes it's not. Alright, here's another one. That one has the same issue. There we go. So just want to right click on it and select copy image, and then you want to go back to iTunes and highlight track number 1, and then shift and highlight track number 11, so that selects all the tracks, and then right click again and select get info, and it says, are you sure you want to do edit information for multiple items? And yes, we do. And then you'll see it'll come up with your information about the album. It has the year already in here, the number of tracks, the artist, the album title, and then you got your artwork box. So you just right click once more and select paste, and there's the album art, and you click OK, and it takes a few seconds as it's actually embedding the album art into each MP3 file, and you'll see now we have album art. So the next step of this process is to you need to create a playlist. If you don't create a playlist, it's not going to print the you see on the back of this Al Stewart where it says Year of the Cat, Al Stewart. If you don't create a playlist, it's just going to say music and then whatever the artist name is. So if you want the album title to be on here, you need to create a playlist first. So that's just as easy as clicking on File and New Playlist, and it pops up over here on the left hand side, and you just type it in. In this case it's just going to be Paul Simon is the name of the album, and so that's created. Now we have to go back to the music, and it's there. So we just click the first track and shift click the last track and drag it over to Paul Simon. And so now we have a Paul Simon playlist. So this is ready to go. Now we'll just click File and Print. And you have several. First thing you want to select is the CD jewel case insert. These are actually meant to be used as the inserts for a jewel case, the front cover. We're just sort of repurposing them as a CD sleeve. So definitely want to do CD case jewel insert, and then the theme. I like to do white mosaic. Which in this case it covers, the album cover covers the full front of the printout. This is meant for like mixed CDs, and if you were to have several different artists on a mixed CD and you did mosaic, it would actually create small little squares all over the cover to show all the different covers of the different artists. But in this case, since it's one album, one artist, it just covers the whole front. And the white mosaic makes the back just plain white. It saves on ink. That's the main reason I do it. I was doing it in the past where it would have the reverse of the album cover sort of in there with the text printed over it, and it kind of made it hard to read at times, and it wasted ink. So I just used the white mosaic template or theme, and I buy this cardstock. It's not paper. It's just a plain cardstock. I get it from Walmart. It's around. It's just under $5 for 150 sheets. Yeah, I'd imagine you can get some glossy cardstock from maybe an office supply store, but this works out fine for me, and it doesn't cost very much. So that's what I print on, and we just go ahead and click OK, and it'll print. And OK again. Okay, so we had to shift the camera angle a bit for this next few steps, but as you see, we have the printout finished here. There are marks at the corners of where we'll be cutting it out, and the next step I do is to actually use a ruler and a pencil and sort of draw the edges of this. I find that the printer prints a little bit small, so I need to actually draw and cut to where the edges of the corners are here. Otherwise the CD does not fit in. I've messed up a few that way, so I draw these, and I'll show you that real quick. I apologize for my messy desk. But I just line the ruler up with these marks that the iTunes prints, and I take a sharp pencil and draw a line. Okay, so we have lines drawn all over, and that gives us our guide to cut, and also lets us know where to fold for the tabs that are going to be on the back here. So yeah, this is the part where you turn it from a insert into an actual sleeve. So you're going to want to cut on the lines for the front part. So we'll start off, I start off on this right hand side and just follow the lines. You want to follow the line all the way to this middle mark where the crease is going to be. And at that point, you'll want to turn your scissors at somewhere around a 45-degree angle, and just cut that off like that. So that's going to be sort of the start of your flap, and then you'll make your flap maybe ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch wide, and just cut like that until you get sort of close to this corner here, and then you'll want to turn back down and hit the corner at 45 again. So there you see we have a flap here, and then this one you'll follow the line down. Hopefully I'm getting this in frame here. This is kind of a tricky setup to shoot this. So then when you get to this bottom corner, you're going to want to cut off at a 45 again to make the bottom flap. And then do the same thing, you know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. It's not critical. This is going to be on the inside and nobody's going to see it, so it doesn't matter how perfect it is. And then when you start getting closer to the center again, you're going to want to turn and angle back in. And then from the center all the way back, you're going to want to just cut on the line again as before. Okay. And these parts here are scraps, but I recommend saving this part. It makes the gluing a little bit easier. So go ahead and throw those away. And so the cutting is done. Don't need the scissors anymore. So the first thing I do is fold it in half down the center. So just use your thumbnail to make a nice sharp crease. And then the next step is to take these flaps and fold them over on the pencil line you drew before. So I just sort of start to bend these over and get things sort of going that way. And when I feel I have a pretty good nice straight line, I sort of use the fingernail again and make a nice sharp crease and do the same on the bottom tab. And there, we're pretty much ready to glue it. And what I like to use, you can use regular Elmer's, you know, school glue if you want, but I just like using glue sticks. It's a lot cleaner, a lot easier, and it works really well for me. So definitely going to recommend using a glue stick. And this is where this scrap comes in that we saved. Go ahead and put that underneath the tab and use your glue stick and apply glue to the tab. And the scrap keeps the excess glue from getting on the inside of your jacket where you don't want it. And then I just turn it over and use the other side. And this is now junk. You don't need it anymore, and it's got glue all over it, so get it out of the way. And then you just fold things closed and use your fingernail again to kind of press it in, or your thumbnail. Might be the only nail you have on that hand if you're a guitar player. And yeah, there it is. It's ready to go. And the CD goes right in. That's all there is to it. Now, the last thing, if you want to make a gatefold, which is just, you have to do this twice, and you just stack one on top of each other. I actually create two separate playlists, one for each disc, so that the song titles will be, well, I can show you right here. Absolutely Live Disc 1, these are all the songs on Disc 1, and Absolutely Live Disc 2, these are the songs on Disc 2. So that you have to create a separate playlist for each one and print out each playlist. And then I just use, to attach them together, I just use plain old clear packing tape. And set your two sleeves on top of each other like the position you want them to be when they're closed. So disc 1 will be on top and disc 2 will be on the bottom. And then you just line them up, and you take a piece of the packing tape and put half of it on the front cover. And then holding them together, you will wrap it around and, you know, stick it to the back one, and then cut off any excess you have at the top or the bottom. And then after that's taped together, you'll just open it up and lay another piece of tape on the inside like that, and you'll end up with this. It's taped on both sides. And it stays closed nicely because we laid them on top of each other when we were taping, and There's a little bit of a gap in the tape there, so it can fold over. You can see a little bit of a gap in the tape, and that's really all there is to it. So, thanks for the question. I hope this helps some other people out, and we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.